You know, identity theft used to mean someone took your credit card number and made a whole bunch of charges, but now scammers are taking out loans in your name. They're using children's social security numbers to get credit cards or loans. They're faking your small business invoices to trick other people. James Lee, president of the Identity Theft Resource Center, is with us today. Identity theft really has changed, but the impact is the same. It could be a real mess trying to get out of it.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't matter really who you are anymore. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what level of resources you have. It just doesn't matter. We're all in the crosshairs of people who are stealing our data and then turning around and using it most of the time to impersonate us.
Right. I think that a lot of people think that they're doing a lot of the right things, but things change so quickly about what we should be doing or what we shouldn't be doing. The Identity Theft Resource Center has a quiz that people can take to kind of help with that.
We just launched this quiz just a couple of weeks ago, and we've already seen a lot of people take the quiz. And the good news is people know a lot, and they're doing a lot of the right things. But like you said, the information changes. What we should do, our habits, they can't stay the same because the bad guys don't stay the same. They're always innovating. So that means we have to be equally as adaptive in how we do things. So one of the purposes of this quiz is to kind of point out some of the things that we do may not be helpful anymore.
Right, yeah, because it does change so quickly and they adapt, the scammers adapt, which means we have to adapt as well. Is there a couple of common things that come to mind that we do that are incorrect or outdated?
Well, one of the first things that comes to mind is, of course, not enough people are freezing their credit. All of our survey information actually shows fewer people are freezing their credit, and that's one of the most important things you can do. And another thing is passwords. Passwords are there's always a lot of controversy around passwords. Do you have to change it every 30 days? Do you have to change it every 45 days? Does it have to be an uppercase, lowercase, symbol, number, stand on your head, pat your belly? All those things that we've told people for years, that's what they should do. But that too has changed. So we help people understand that it's a lot simpler to deal with a password today than it really ever has been. And there's also newer technologies that make that password more secure and in some cases make it obsolete.
All right, well, let's just unpack those two things since you said them. That password, since you just talked about that, do you want us to use like a password manager instead of trying to remember certain passwords?
Absolutely. Most people have more than 100 passwords these days. So remembering 100 different passwords is impossible. That's why most people reuse the same password on every account. And that's just an invitation to the bad guys to take all your stuff and then use it to pretend to be you and then take somebody else's stuff. So it is really important that you use a password manager if you're going to still use passwords. And they're built into your devices now. They're built into the operating systems. So it's a lot easier to find and manage that password than ever before. So you don't have to create anything. You don't have to remember anything. It's all done for you automatically in your device.
Right, because it always asks you, do you want to use this strong password? And you just say yes, and then I also want it to scan my face or use my finger.
That's exactly right. And you know why? Because when you're scanning your face or using your finger or you're setting up that PIN code, you're creating a pass key. And a pass key is better than a password. It's a replacement for a password. And there's two things about it that are great. One is you don't have to remember anything. And you don't see the code that is created inside your device, which means you can't accidentally give it away to some scammer who's trying to talk you out of it. They can't see it, you can't see it, therefore that's more secure. Second part of that is it's never stored at the business where you have the account. So if they have a data breach, no one can steal your login and password there either. So we're rapidly moving toward a day when the kind of attacks using passwords as the way into a system, those attacks can go away. Or certainly be reduced.
Right, so things always move on, but then some things kind of stay behind here and there. For example, we're doing a shred next week. It is not the #1 way that identity thieves get your information, but it still is a way.
It absolutely is a way. Now, it's not what it was 25 years ago when the ITRC was founded. That was the main way people actually stole your identity, was it was off a piece of paper somewhere. Maybe they were dumpster diving. But today it does still happen. It usually happens because someone threw something away in the trash. Maybe it was a business, but maybe you threw away your own information. So this is one of those things. If you want to live dangerously, go ahead, throw it away, don't shred it. But if you have the opportunity to shred documents and then before you dispose of them, please do that because it's just belt and suspenders. It may not be a high risk, but it is a risk. And why do you want to put that kind of pressure on yourself, that kind of stress? Just go ahead and shred it, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Ah, yes. All right. Well, I appreciate your time and your expertise. And that leads me to this. Hey, folks, you can come to the shred. It's for free. It is Tuesday, October the 7th from 4 until 7 at the Greensboro Complex. There's a 3-box or 3-bag limit. Get those documents and protect your identity.